Now to take a look at the smart trade from the community at Global Trader, and let's get straight into it because it's actually your website platform that you've set up that we're taking a closer look at today. Give us some detail in terms of what we're looking at.
Okay, what we've done is we've over the last number of months we've set up a kind of another business unit which we're calling GT Private Broking. As at the back there, the URL and everything are pretty straightforward. We've found that there's a gap, and part of what Paul does is kind of filling that gap, and that's the relationship between the kind of old style broking kind of situation and the availability of new instruments to trade, vis-a-vis CFDs and things like that. There's quite a few gaps there in that a lot of people have capital that they want to make work in those markets, but there's a few intricacies in terms of actually trading with these things. And as Paul is kind of addressing with this portfolio, the aspects of leverage and the cost actually involved in taking that leverage, and the different kind of approaches that you can do, offer a whole bunch of things that clients can do. And GT Private Broking is a service which aims to assist and help and guide clients with that kind of portfolio management.
So a very interesting evolution that we're seeing happen right now, Paul.
Yeah, you know, derivatives and derivatives trading sometimes get knocked because people love it when it's working well for them, but it can go wrong. You know that old funny line about how turning over derivative trading instruments to some people is like giving whiskey and shotguns to monkeys. It can really be disastrous because when you're winning, and then you get overconfident and you blow up. So I guess, Mark, what you guys are doing is trying to take more of the people that get introduced to the platform and migrate them through to become successful investors, traders, whatever their own style is, because not everybody has the same ideas about things. But it's just to improve the survival rate and to make sure people don't incinerate themselves.
Well, a little bit more than that.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
What have you been noticing in terms of the approaches you've started to see come
Well,
through?
look, the thing about GT Private Broking is, first of all, it's not available to everybody. There is a certain kind of threshold because we have to give everybody kind of personal attention and kind of guidance. With the key difference that we've found is that by assisting people and pointing out the positive attributes of these instruments, leverage is a fantastic thing, but it just has to be managed consistently and very, very carefully. And we have a broad continuum of clients, ranging from people who do that more kind of tactical conservative approach to people who are more aggressive. But if you are much more aggressive in trading in these markets, then there's another set of limits and parameters that you have to impose on yourself. And being able to assist and guide people in that range of activities is very, very constructive for them. You need somebody tapping you on the shoulder and saying, well, look, levering maximum into this particular position in this market is probably not a prudent thing to do now, given this, and this.
Absolutely.
And this helps considerably. And it's not just a case of survivorship. Yes, across the entire range of accounts, the survivorship goes up, but clients are making a lot more money following this kind of methodology.
And I guess there's also all that value add around understanding how you can use derivatives to offset risks perhaps that you have elsewhere. So people have got a big portfolio, for example, of positions that they would never touch. That's their kind of long-term savings, but they could put hedges in place using platforms like this. So it's a much more sophisticated look at what people's needs might be and how they could utilize the platform to meet
Yeah,
those.
I mean, you can protect portfolios using relatively small amounts of capital. There's a whole bunch of huge potential out there, but it just needs to be managed very, very carefully.
And how flexible are the people that you're dealing with right now? Or are you having to deal with a lot of rigidity?
No, I mean, the thing is, once you deal with people and you point out these attributes and people see them working, and Paul is an exemplar in this. I mean, in terms of the way the portfolio works and the way the portfolio performs, people can sit there and say, well, hold on a moment. There's more than this kind of just this gunslinging reputation to derivatives. Or OTC derivatives. They can be managed in a much more constructive and positive fashion, and the demonstration is there.
Yeah.
One more thing to add is I had a look at the website before the show, and when you look at the people involved on the About Us tab up there, I mean, it's a very experienced team, yourself, Bradley, Nilan, I mean, plus a whole bunch of others, Ollie, we've had on the show before. So the idea that derivatives trading is like something you've got to do on the Java trading platform has been, it's been underscored here that there's some really experienced humans that you can talk to.
I mean, we're convinced there's a gap.
Human.
We're convinced that there's a gap between, the old model has gone and shattered. It's not the guy on the floor with the phone anymore. It's a lot more sophisticated than that. You need to be able to pull the trigger yourself when you want to in terms of dealing yourself. But having counsel, having somebody you can discuss things with, and shaping those opinions is, we think, a huge niche.